Hey, Skyline Academy. Welcome back to summer program, week 2, DBT Group. Today we're going to talk about mindfulness. So DBT takes a pretty deep dive into what mindfulness is and what it's not, and how you're going to use it to help reach some of those goals of regulating our emotions, maybe not reacting so strongly to our emotions, creating a healthier, happier life for ourselves, okay? So, to begin talking about mindfulness, there are 3 parts to mindfulness: observing, describing, and participating. Now, observing, we all kind of probably know what it means to observe something, but when it comes to mindfulness, what observing means is what is around us, what are we feeling, and what's really happening right now. In DBT and in mindfulness, nothing is happening except for right now. The past doesn't matter. The future does not matter. We're talking about right now. What are we feeling? What are we thinking? And what's really happening? Describing. So describing in mindfulness is something that we do in a very basic way. We only describe what we absolutely know. We do not describe what we think other people are thinking or feeling. We are not describing what other people are doing. We are only in charge of ourselves. We can only control how we react and what we think and what we feel. So when we describe in our mindfulness exercises what's going on, it can only be from our own perspective. So our third part is participating. And participating is kind of a funny word for this part of mindfulness, but it really means being in touch with what's around you, being one with what's around you. So think about where you're sitting or standing right now. So say you were sitting in a chair. By participating, by going with the flow, by being one with what's going on around you, you would be able to say, I am in this chair, I am calm or sad or happy or whatever it is that you're feeling, but nothing else is going on except for me in this chair right now. Going with the flow, accepting and moving with the things that are true, that we know, that only we are in control of. So there's 3 attitudes that we kind of have to participate in our mindfulness exercises. So 1, we have to be non-judgmental. 2, we have to be in the moment. And 3, we have to be effective. So non-judgmental to start. That means that sometimes things are good and sometimes things are bad. But we're not going to say, oh, we're angry and that's a bad emotion, or oh, we're excited and that's a good emotion. When we describe and observe and participate, we are non-judgmental about it. Nothing is good or bad. We are simply present in this space, participating in these exercises. So that second part, in the moment. So that kind of goes back to what I was talking about. In the moment, that's all that exists. Right here, right now. So let's go back to you're sitting in a chair and you're watching Miss Mari's video. Nothing else is going on right now. What you had for breakfast or lunch before you watch the video, what you're going to do after this video. Nothing else matters when we're in our mindfulness exercises. Only what we're doing right now in this moment. Effectively, which is our third part of the things that we need to do in order to be mindful, is doing what works, not necessarily what is right. So it kind of goes back to that non-judgmental. Nothing is good or bad. And that doesn't mean we have an excuse to be violent or unkind, but what we're trying to practice is doing what works for us. So sometimes journaling works for us. Sometimes deep breathing works for us. Sometimes taking walks works for us. We need to focus on what is effective. We are not trying to make all kids and all adults who participate in DBT have the same skills when they come out of it, because that's just not realistic. That's not how people work. Everybody's different. everybody's going to have different things that works for them, okay? So our goals with mindfulness and DBT in general, which we talked about, are to become more in touch with ourselves, to have a better awareness of who we are, what works for us, and what's not working for us. Our emotions and our environment, how to experience those things without judgment. Managing our extreme emotions. So I think all of you are very familiar with extreme emotions, whether those be you're way too excited and you're bouncing off the walls and everything is going on and whoa, or really, really sad. Like, I just can't even get out of bed today. All I want to do is cry or sleep, or really mad. Maybe you're throwing things, you're hitting people, you're doing all these behaviors to let people know, I'm really mad. Mindfulness can help us manage those emotions. And also one of our goals is learning to accept reality. So this kind of goes back to that idea of the dialectical, that we want to accept where we're at, but we also want to work towards a positive change. So learning to accept reality as it is. Sometimes you guys have really great times at school. Sometimes you do everything you're supposed to do. You earn your points. You're on green. Things are going well. Your parents and guardians are taking great care of you and they're really happy and they have, jobs where they're happy and things that help their lives be meaningful and happy. And then sometimes things are bad. Sometimes we go through hard times and sometimes the people around us hurt us and hurt our feelings. And learning how to accept that that's a part of life. Things are sometimes good and things are sometimes bad. So, our character trait this week is courage. And when I think about mindfulness and how it matters in being courageous, courage is doing what's right regardless of your fear. Courage is about being brave, trying new things, taking care of the people around you, even though it might be scary or you're not sure if you're doing a good job. And mindfulness is going to require a little bit of courage. You're going to have to learn how to believe in yourself a little bit. You're going to have to be courageous in trying different ways of being mindful. So one thing that Miss Mari likes to do when she practices mindfulness is what's called a body scan. So what you do with a body scan in mindfulness is you pick a spot. You can either be sitting or laying down. I do this sometimes when I'm trying to go to sleep at night. It's kind of like our milk practices where we're trying to be in touch with our body in a non-judgmental way. And so like when I lay in bed at night and I'm trying to fall asleep, I start at the tip of my toes and I stay, I spend some time thinking about, how do my toes feel right now? Are they cold? Do I need to wiggle them? Is the blanket laying on them? Am I hot? Do I need to let my toes out from under the blanket? Maybe there's a pillow pressing on them. Maybe one's twisted to the left and one's twisted to the right. And doing that slowly all the way up our body. So we start with our toes and then we move to our feet and then we move to our ankles and then we move to our calves and then we move to our knees, all the way up our body, going really, really slow, thinking about what is it that we're really feeling? What is it that we're thinking? And how can we be super duper present all the way up until we get to the very tip top of our head? And that's something that I find really, really relaxing. And sometimes I fall asleep while I'm doing it. So it obviously works. But mindfulness isn't something that we just do to relax our bodies, right? It definitely can be used for that. But this is something I want you guys to try and access when you're not feeling great. When you are frustrated because you're stuck at home, or you're frustrated with a video game, you're frustrated with your parents or guardians, when you're frustrated with yourself, or maybe when you're really, really sad. So what I've done is below the video, I've added a lot of extra videos and also a worksheet. So you got two tasks. there's a lot of videos to watch. I've divided them up. Rhinocats, you have your own videos that are going to help you walk through a mindfulness exercise. Scholars and Panthers, feel free, all of you guys, to watch whichever ones you want to. But I do have them divided up for what's most appropriate for your classroom and what might make the most sense for you. And then I also have attached a worksheet from a website called therapistaid.com. And on this worksheet are 4 different mindful exercises. And this week, I want you to do at least 2. So you can use these exercises to relax your body, just to practice, or maybe when you're feeling frustrated or sad or like way too excited and you need to calm down. So any of those big feelings that we're trying to figure out how to regulate and get better with, those are times when you can access these exercises. So your assignment after you finish this video, watch the supplemental videos. So all the videos that I've added below, the ones that you want to, but definitely the ones that I've assigned to your specific classroom. And then also pull that worksheet up on your computer, your tablet, your phone, whatever it is that you're using to watch this video on. And I want you to do at least 2 of the exercises. So there's mindfulness meditation, body scan like Miss Mari talked about, a mindfulness walk, or a 5 senses exercise, okay? So that's your assignment this week. Be courageous. Try something new. Try something that maybe makes you a little uncomfortable, and feel free to let Miss Mari know how it goes. I'd love to hear from you guys, and I will see you next week. Stay safe, guys.